Well, you are building the mini cargo Condor, and these are the plans. So the first thing you should do is print out all these pages and then connect all the plans together. Now there is the paper overlaps a little, like it doesn't overlap, but the line gets cut off a little before the edge of the paper. But what you have to do is, if you can see here, is you just gotta cut down to where that line is on the edge. If you need more help with this, you can go back and watch some of my other instructional videos and it'll tell you how to do that. So next, obviously, you cut out the parts. So obviously this is a twin airplane, or you could set it up like a quad, whatever you want. But I'm really not doing this plane. I'm not gonna do like a full build video. I'm just gonna show you things that might be complicated, and I'm not actually gonna build the plane in this build video. But I do have these PDFs. So as you can see, here's the old mini cargo Condor fuse that I did some crash testing with. That's why it's all beat up. But as you can see, exact same plane pretty much. Fuselage is the same size, and the wing, I actually don't have the wing from this one anymore, but if we go searching, here's this thing, the tail. If you can look here, that same size. This right there, just a little thinner. This one's pretty fat, so I made this one a little thinner on the plans. But this is just gonna be a how-to video and not really a build along with me video. So you can really use any type of foam for your fuselage, but I used this pink insulation foam that's 1/4 inch. You can get it at Home Depot. For the base and for the sidewalls, I used 6mm Depron. So basically, you can see I just had the base layer, which is, I need to give you the width on that, since that's actually not on the plans, but the width of the fuselage is about 3.5 inches. So what you need to do is cut out strips of your base foam. You could probably use 9mm Depron or anything really, or you could even use 6mm Depron, but your base thing is 3.5 inches. So that's how wide your fuselage is from front to back, unless you want to modify it and do something else where it tapers back there or something. But basically that's that. And then you just glue these onto the side. See how when you hold it up to the light, you can see the base layer right there. But yep, that's that. So you should just glue that on. And then with the front here, all I did was take little, as you can see, strips of foam there. And I actually had this wall of the fuselage going like that. So I put this and the base layer on first, and then I just went and took those strips and glued them across, just to match the contour with this line, and then just kind of taped over them to make it smoother. So that's how I did the nose. For the tail, basically what I did was just let's move this so we can see this better. So basically I just took this part right there and glued it onto here like that. So as you can see, I just glued that on, and it overlaps by what looks to be 2 inches. So you should have this 2 inches forward and just glued right on there. And then the covering for the top should just start right there and then go that way. So when you're holding it upside down, it's just like that. Pretty simple. You can do it yourself unless you don't have any brains. You're so stupid a colorblind person could beat you in a game of Twister. This, I'm just showing you how it goes, but it goes like this. I put a stick right there for support, and basically I beveled both edges on this and both on the back, if you can see that. Then here, they're both beveled there, and only the top side is beveled on the back. If you're using thinner foam, you could bend it here, but I was using thicker foam that doesn't bend as easy, so I just used 2 different pieces of foam, one here and then one back there. Yeah, that's that. Talk a little bit about the wing. The wing here is 36 inches long, so that's the wingspan. And then the wing cord is 10 inches. So basically, this wing right here is built the same way. It was for my FPV Steezy Star. But basically, you bend a piece of Depron, or you can really do your wing however you want to. But you can, or you could do a ribbed wing like that. But basically, how I did this, the one for my mini cargo Condor, is I bent a piece of foam. And if you don't know how to bend this over the stove, you can watch the video, the instructional video for the slow trainer. Just go back to the RC Testy videos and just look for the video, the instructional slow trainer video, and that will show you how to bend the wing. But you don't, if you use thicker foam and you're not going to do any super intense flying, you don't have to put a carbon rod, but I would definitely recommend using a carbon rod in your wing. This one doesn't have a carbon rod and it held up fine, but I would definitely recommend using a carbon rod. It's good to put little winglets out on the end like that, so when it tips, the props don't hit. That just kind of gives it some more room. But basically, this wing has dihedral. You're not going to have dihedral in your wing unless you really want it for some weird reason. But you're just going to have a straight wing. So you're pretty much on your own for the wing. But this is how I did mine for my mini cargo Condor. What's next? Oh yeah, the wing on mine started, let's get my measuring tape. The wing for mine started from right there where the windshield ends. The wing, you should put it on about 4.5 inches back. So the front of the wing should be about 4.5 inches back from the start of the windshield right there, or the end of the windshield. Now to attach the wing, basically all I did was put some popsicle sticks through the fuselage. As you can see, they stick out on both sides. And then I put some more popsicle sticks above them, so when the rubber band that goes from here over the wing to here, when it's pulling up, these don't break through easily. Now don't really pay attention to these green pieces of foam. Those are just there on my, when I was doing FPV, I needed to kill some vibration, so I put those there. But that's how you attach your wing. Rubber bands just go over the wing like that. So that's how you do that. So on my mini cargo Condor wing, I used 5 gram servos on the wing. These are actually the servos from that. 5 gram servos on the wing, and a 9 gram servo for the elevator. A rudder would be nice, since this plane is pretty acrobatic. A rudder would allow you to knife edge and stuff, so if I was building this again, I would do a rudder, so that would also be a 9 gram servo. But you can use 9 gram servos for the ailerons if you want anything, really. You could probably use 5 gram servos for the elevator and rudder, but whatever you want, you can do that. So when I had my tail on, I had the servos, my tail was like that, and I had my servos up here. They would just stick into this foam. I would just cut like the servo shape and stick them in there, you know. And my push rods just went back. My control horns are popsicle sticks with a hole burnt in them. So that's how I did it. You can do it however your way. Once again, this video is very not, pretty much, this is just covering the basics. What's next? Let me think. Oh yeah, power systems. I used 4 of these motors. I'm not even sure anything about the specs on those, but what I do know is 4 of those was barely powerful enough. So if I were making this plane again, I would go with twin counter-rotating 3000 kV Blue Wonders, like what's in these little boxes, which it's not opening. But those run, I think, about 6-inch props. Let me find one. Oh, here's one. 6-inch props on those. And they put out quite a lot of thrust. So I'd use 2 of these if I were you. But you can do whatever you want. Once again, this is not a super detailed video. This is just kind of, this is how to do it. You do it your way. Yeah, ESC wise with those, I'd go with a 20 amp ESC if you're going with the 3000 kV Blue Wonder style motors. And then battery wise, you have to use a 2-cell battery with those motors, so I would probably go with 1400 milliamp hour 2-cell battery, or you can really do anything. but that's what I used with those motors. So when you're talking about landing gear, I used this for my nose gear, non-steerable, just for landing. So basically it's just a wheel on a bent wire. I just did it by hand. And then I'm not sure where my tail landing gear are. Oh, no, I'm just kidding, that's not them. Maybe they're in this box of stuff. No. Oh, there they are. Okay, let me get all my cell phone charger wires. But these are the landing gear, just a rod with wheels on it. I just glued it to the bottom of the fuselage, and that worked out quite nicely. I think I got these wheels from Hobby City or something like that. Instead of using wheel collars or axle collars, I just wrapped wire around there and then super glued it. So that actually works quite nicely. That's actually a carbon rod, but that eventually wears out. I just didn't have a metal rod. So these wheels are 2 inches in diameter. The nose wheel is 1.5. You can use whatever, doesn't matter. It does not matter. You can do it your way. But you could even put some sweet skis on it if you wanted. That would be your awesome. So when it comes to mounting your motors, what I did was just take a piece of foam and lay it across your wing like that. And then just take whatever mount you have for your motor. I've just got a stick mount, Air Capital Hobbies stick mount, and just glue it on like that. And then it'll be flush with the wing curve angle, because basically if you take this angle, that's the angle your motor should be at. So your motor should be parallel with that angle. And also I made the wing out of 9mm Depron, and that worked absolutely great. So I would suggest making my wing out of 9mm Depron, or if you don't have any, you could also do 6mm Depron, but if you do that, be sure to put a carbon rod in it. So the CG should be about 33% of the wing cord, so that's about halfway back. So about right in this kind of area, just about 1/3 of the wing. That'll work out just fine. So that's pretty. This plane is not that hard. I mean, if you've never built a plane before, this instructional video is garbage for you. But if you've built a couple of planes, which this plane is intended for people who have some knowledge because it's a twin and stuff like that. But basically, if you've built planes before, you should have the common sense to figure this out. It's pretty straightforward. So anyways, that'll sum up my very not good instructional video for this plane. So I hope that'll help you out a little bit. Anyways, good luck and see you later. Oh, and the reason this fuselage is so smashed in is because I did some rigorous crash testing to make sure it was safe for all the people inside.